Welcome to beautiful sunny Naples, Florida. Today we're at Naples Infiniti and we're going to be comparing the 2023 Infiniti QX50 Lux versus the 2023 Infiniti QX55 Lux as well. Alright, so today we're going to start off on the 2023 Infiniti QX55. For starters, this vehicle does have forward emergency braking. That's really important to me and most people as well. Safety features are really important. Forward emergency braking, basically, if there's a vehicle ahead of you or a pedestrian in this case, this does have pedestrian detection as well, it will apply the brakes to bring you to a dead stop if it needs to, and that is predictive. So let's say there's a car ahead of you, but then there's a car ahead of that one. Of course, you can't visually see that, but this system is smart enough to read up to 2 car lengths ahead. This also has intelligent cruise control with full speed range. So you can assign cruise control and the car will speed up, slow down, come to a slow halt, and then reaccelerate when it needs to as well. LED headlights, fog lights, turn signals, and brake lights throughout this vehicle. That's really, really important. Maybe for someone that's leasing, that's not as important because you plan on getting rid of the car in 3 years. But if you're planning on buying the vehicle, LED lights will actually outlive most of us. But the key with the LED lights is their brightness as well as response time. So for a turn signal or a brake light, you definitely want LED because the instant you apply that brake or the instant you engage that turn signal, it comes on and it's super bright as well. This vehicle does have the 19-inch wheels on it. That's standard for all the QX55s. I love this wheel design. It's got the graphite panels on the inside with a little bit of the silver streak throughout, and I think it's really, really attractive. You'll notice these center caps, the Infiniti center caps, are that lighter silver as well. Here are the LED turn signals that we discussed, built into the side mirrors, very effective. Most people in Naples don't use them anyways, but if you're one of the few that does, when you do engage your turn signal 2-3 car lengths behind you, even in the daytime, you can notice it. The vehicle, the doors are really important as well. Something I really want to showcase, and I'll show you this right now, just how widely the doors open. They open almost to a full 90-degree angle. That really does make a big difference. Getting in and out, if you do have children that you're putting into the back seat, booster seats, front-facing seat, rear-facing seat, that's a lot of stress on your lower back if you have to squeeze in at this angle and try to maneuver a seat in. But because the door is open this wide, it gives you a lot more flexibility in loading, unloading, or placing children, placing seats into the vehicle. Child safety locks are right on the back panel here. Both doors have it, so that's available to you also. The rear seat, really comfortable and roomy. So that is something, and we're not even gonna cut that, we're gonna keep that in the video. So that is something that is different between the QX50 and the QX55. I'm 5'9", I'm not the tallest person in the world, but as you notice, I slightly bumped my head getting into this. And that is because of the more aggressive slope in the actual roofline of this vehicle. So in the QX50, you'll have a more flat roofline and better head clearance as well. In both vehicles, you have seats that are adjustable that slide forward and back, as well as right here, there's a lever, so you can recline as well for additional comfort if needed. So we come around to the back. Here you'll see the beautiful LED brake lights that I mentioned before. I love the design of this. It's really sleek. I love how they extended the brake lights all the way wrapped around, totally across the side of the vehicle as well. I think it's a beautiful design. So right here in the rear of the vehicle, in addition to the actual seating in the back, this is where you really notice the difference. This is a narrower tailgate compared to the QX50. You can open the tailgate right here, but if you've seen the QX50 before, right away you notice the difference. The opening is much narrower here. It's about 3.5 inches of difference, so you do lose that space as far as loading something into the rear. And then you can notice the height here as well. The height clearance is not as high, so you wouldn't be able to load it up as high or get in quite as much because of the space that you lose here. You follow me around to this side. So now is where we're gonna jump inside. All right, so we're now inside the actual QX55. The cockpit from here versus the QX50 is gonna be pretty much identical. This area will be different because on the QX50, you will have a wireless charging pad that's standard on the Luxe trim level. The wireless charging pad, it's not a fast charger, so bear that in mind. But because you do have wireless Apple CarPlay in both vehicles, it does kind of drain your battery pretty quickly. So what that will allow you to do is basically maintain your battery while you're using your CarPlay features. The most important thing on the inside here that I wanted to showcase are the safety features. So we briefly discussed that when we were walking around the car. So I wanted to show you exactly what you get, the value that you get in the QX55 standard and the QX50 as well. So right here, blind spot assist, you'll have the blind spot warning and the actual intervention itself. So what that means to you is not only will the car beep if there's a vehicle in the blind spot, as well as you'll get the warning light that illuminates, but if you choose to have this engaged, which you can disengage as well as every other safety feature, you can choose how the car interacts with you. If you choose to have the intervention on, let's say there's a vehicle in your blind spot to the right and you have that safety feature on. If you turn your steering wheel to the right to make that turn with that vehicle there, the vehicle is smart enough and the steering system is advanced enough to apply brake force to those two independent wheels and then counter steer you gently to avoid the collision. Great feature to have. The other safety feature you have here is going to be lane assist. So you have the lane departure warning as well as the intervention also, which interacts with you the same way. So you have the warning, which will be the light that comes on and the audible sound that you'll hear. And then the intervention if you want to give the car the authority to correct you. Here you have steering assist. Steering assist is specific to cruise control. So as you're driving the vehicle and you have cruise control on, you can then choose a distance that you want this vehicle to maintain between your vehicle and the vehicle ahead of you. And then you can choose if you want to give the car the authority to steer for you as well. This does not mean go to sleep, eat a sandwich, jump into the back seat, anything along those lines. But what this does mean is as you're driving on the highway, you don't have to be so concerned about every single turn, adjustment in the road. The car will steer for you and minimize some of the efforts that you have while driving. It will also speed up and slow down, as I mentioned before. And what I like about this is it is not an aggressive braking at all. It's very smooth, very gentle. And I use this feature a lot when I'm driving with my family, taking rides to Orlando. We visit Volcano Bay often. And my kids in the back seat, everybody's comfortable, and no one's aware that I'm not the one driving when I have this system engaged. In most other vehicles, the braking system is very aggressive and jerky, and the passengers can sometimes get a little bit motion sickness, to say the least. But this is very smooth and fluid. So that sums up this vehicle, the QX55. Those are all the features that I wanted to showcase and review. We're gonna go into the QX50 now, and I'm gonna point out some features, but I'm gonna mainly focus on the differences. So if I don't mention something, that means that the QX50 has that feature already. So anything that I mention on the QX50, just bear in mind that it is in addition to what this vehicle has. Let's do it. All right, perfect. So we're gonna go into the 2023 Infiniti QX50. This will have forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection and intelligent cruise control, just like the QX55 we just looked at. It's also gonna have your LED headlights. It will not have the LED fog lights. So if that's something that's really important to you, you will not get those in the comparable Luxe trim level. QX55 versus QX50. This is a new wheel design for this year. This is also a 19-inch wheel. It's a little bit different than the wheel design that you get in the QX55. This is a brighter aluminum finish wheel. I think it's still a beautiful wheel design. A little bit more spokes than the QX55's design, but I still think it's really attractive. You go to the turn signals here. You do have the blind spot indicator built into the side mirror, just like the QX55. Doors, just like the QX55 as well. But you will notice that it does have more headroom. I'm sure you noticed me bump my head on the QX55. I love the vehicle, but that is something that you should be aware of. And of course on this, I am more alert, so naturally I could pay more attention to it, but I can much more easily, without really having to dive down, getting to this vehicle. So for me, you know, my family size, my lifestyle, this vehicle makes more sense, my height. But everybody's a little bit different. So if the QX55 makes more sense to you and has features that give it more value, then you should definitely go for that direction. We come around to the back here. Still has the wraparound LED brake lights. That's something that I think is really important. I'm gonna open the tailgate here. Both vehicles have the automatic tailgate, but notice the difference in width here. Notice how much more space you have to load cargo into the vehicle. Notice how much more headroom that you have. Actually, let's go back to the QX55. I just want to showcase this so you really can see the difference. So once again, take a look at this on the QX55. Take a look at the height, the width, and then we're going to go right back to the QX50. And there you have it. So those are the main differences that I really wanted to showcase. There's a few differences on the inside that we're going to jump into, but headroom, cargo space, and standard features are going to be the biggest difference between the two vehicles. But aesthetically, the QX55 is going to give you more coupe-like styling compared to the QX50, which is going to be a more flat roofline. If you join me inside. All right, perfect. So we are now inside of the 2023 Infiniti QX50. Let me remove this film here so there's no glare while we're shooting. So right away from the inside, if we select the same setting here, driver assistance, you'll see that you still have the blind spot warning intervention. You're going to notice you still have the same capabilities for lane departure warning intervention. Same capabilities as well for the steering assist. So safety features laterally are identical. So you'll have the same level of sophistication as far as keeping you safe in the vehicle. Something that you will not have in the QX55 in the standard trim. And I keep saying standard trim because we're doing a side-by-side comparison between the 2023 QX55 Luxe versus the 2023 QX50 Luxe. So right away on the inside, you'll notice right here, I'm not sure if the camera can zoom in close enough to see that. This is the wireless charging pad that I briefly discussed that is available on the QX50 Luxe trim that is not available on the QX55. Another feature, if you're a sound head, if you're a music enthusiast and really love sound quality and crispness, the QX55 has a very nice sound system, but this vehicle actually has a Bose performance sound system with 14 speakers and a subwoofer in the trunk. So 14 speakers versus 8, it does make quite a bit of difference. This also is going to have your memory seats as well. So 2 passenger memory seats available in the vehicle. Maybe husband's a little bit taller than the wife or vice versa, and you're constantly having to adjust the seats to get in and out of the vehicle. This will alleviate that for you. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. Most of you are probably at work right now because this is going to air in the middle of the day. So thank you for sneaking away and watching this. If there's any videos on any Infiniti vehicles you'd like me to compare for you, please leave that in the comments below. Please like and subscribe so you get notified when any of these videos are posted. And thank you so much for visiting the page. Have a great day.